This is Melanie from Melanie B's Creative Studio, and today I have 3 paintings from FGNORMAL to look at and review. I have brought FGNORMAL to you in the past, and I just got these paintings, so I wanted to get them out and show them to you, and let's do some swatching and talk about it for a little bit. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so first thing we need to talk about is that this one's folded. You may remember that when I did my first video for FGNORMAL, that we discussed how they have purchased from different sources, from different manufacturers. So because they do that, they might receive some of their kits in, that are folded. Okay, so let's break each of these open and let's talk about each one individually and see what we think about the paint quality, the canvas quality, and all that stuff that I normally give you guys information on. Let's start by saying this is the image that we're going to be working on first. I'll put it right here. Now, this particular painting has come with a color photo that's a nice quality, a reference guide in black and white. It's very clear to read and a very nice printout. We have our set of paint brushes, our standards, and then we have the most delicious palette maybe ever. I don't even know how to describe this lusciousness. So, hello, gorgeous palette. So let's go through these and let's test these. But first, we're gonna talk about the canvas briefly before I start swatching my paints. It is a very thin canvas. It's got like a linen texture on the back. It is thin and it feels like it's really easy to stretch. So that's a good thing. So let me get a swatch guide. Now this swatch guide you can purchase at my website, and I will put a link right here and also in the description below. And the description below will allow you to click it and go straight there. And you can use this to determine whether the paints for a kit that you've gotten is good, how many are going to be transparent and semi-opaque and opaque and all that. Now I have a whole video on this little guide alone, so I won't go into that anymore, but I just wanted you to know what I'm working with here. I do not remember the name of this painting. I feel so bad, but this is from FGNORMAL.com, and I'm going to call this City at Night. Now, in the description, I will put the links and the names of these paintings so that you can find them when you go shopping at their site. And let's get started on the swatches. I have my water container. This one's empty. I don't have one in it right now, but this has got a paint puck in it, and I've got my handy dandy cosmetic wipes to keep my brush in good shape while I am doing these swatches. Now, a lot of people will ask why there is no number on a color like this. So on this canvas, there will be an opening, like this gray section, that will have no number. That is what that is for, okay? Different companies do that in a different way. So I just want you to be watching. A lot of times it means black, but usually it is gonna be labeled with a blank number because it is a blank number on the canvas. All right, so let's look at this paint. It's very creamy. Oh my goodness, so creamy it's wanting to jump out on me. Let's get this, woo! That is some delicious paint right there. Now, I don't know about its opacity, but the texture and the quality of it is fantastic. So can we just like take a minute and talk about this palette for a second? This is like the most yummy, delicious palette I've seen forever. It looks like Easter eggs. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is that almost every single one of these, or every single one of these, is opaque, with the exception of maybe this creamy white. This one up here is kind of a gel consistency instead of more creamy like these, but these are all kind of that gel finish too, so it might take a little bit more effort to get these to go down, but I'm telling you, I cannot believe how wonderfully delicious those paints are. They were so creamy. It took me like 20 minutes to do this swatch when normally it takes me 5 or 6 minutes, because I was having to scoop out what was in the lid and put it back in the pot because the creaminess of it just, you know, allowed it to go in shipment all over the place. So anyway, fabulous paint palette, fabulous paint. So let's move to our second painting. Okay, so right off the bat, you can see a completely different canvas. The numbers are huge. The lines are extremely black along with the numbers. The texture of the canvas is slick. It's a little less quality canvas, very thin fabric material. The only concern I would have on this one is the fact that these numbers are so bold and so huge and so dark that it's going to be difficult potentially to get this palette to cover this. So I do not want to make assumptions yet, but let's open this palette and look at it. This painting is going to look like this. I don't know why every palette is yummy deliciousness, because I mean, like, that's why I'm attracted to the painting, is because the palette is so gorgeous. Okay, so this one's a little scary because it does have a lot of yellows and the golden colors, sunsetty orange, you know. So I think we should just go ahead and start swatching these. I'm gonna move this canvas out of the way so things aren't sliding. Okay, I'm done swatching the 22 in this palette, and let's just take a look at these, because I'm extremely surprised that the golden colors have covered so well. Now this one is a little trickier, and this one here, of course, is going to be totally transparent because yellows like this almost always are. I've never had one that isn't. But one thing I did want to mention, and I forgot because I was so excited about getting into some swatching, is that this particular painting did not come with a reference guide. So you're gonna need to take pictures of it before you start. Because the lines and numbers are so bold, this is one of those paintings that I could use a thin wash of white gesso over the whole thing, then add my clear gesso on top, and that should maybe tone down some of that darkness, the boldness, the numbers and the lines, and this would probably be the only time that I would ever use white gesso. All right, so let's move to our last painting. So this is where I'm gonna live in my next home. It's just so whimsical and beautiful. This actually reminds me of like Key West or Charleston and Rainbow Row. So it just was so cute and whimsical and bright that I had to own this. Like, I had to get it. So when they asked me if I wanted to pick out some paintings, I was like, absolutely, hello. Yeah, this was one of them. Now that I'm looking at this and about to swatch it, I'm so like, what the heck was I thinking with all this yellow? But we're gonna try it. All right, another thing I want to mention is we have a reference guide. This one has brown numbers and lines. Talk about this yummy goodness, except for these, they're a little scary. This is our palette, our rainbow palette. Now let me get another swatch guide. All right, let's get swatching. All right, you guys, I have finally finished this particular painting swatch, and wow, I just want to say I'm really kind of surprised that the yellows covered as well as they did. I mean, you can still see the little paint pot lid, but that is better than most yellows. So I was a little bit happy about that one. The white doesn't cover really at all. So I would just use my Liquitex heavy body titanium white and replace that, or my Arteza white. White is an easy one to replace. So I have no issues with that. I just wanted to make sure most of them are gonna be opaque. Now this green, when I opened it, I immediately knew that was gonna be a booger. So that's something that I'll be prepared for, but I will probably add a little bit of white to that before I ever paint this particular painting, and so I will be prepared. But that is why I do this swatch to begin with, is that I'm prepared of what I need to replace before I start, what I need to be paying attention to, like the white, that kind of thing. So anyway, you guys, hope you enjoyed this unboxing review and swatching of 3 new paintings from FGNORMAL. Now I'm gonna put the link in the description for the website and the names of these 3 paintings so you can find them. And I appreciate you guys being here again today. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment here at YouTube, and then join me on Patreon. Patreon, the information for what that is gonna be right here in the middle. I'm gonna put a link. You guys can also find a link that you can click on down in the description, and it will take you directly to my website and explain all about Patreon and what you're gonna get when you sign up with me. All right, I will see you guys back soon. Thanks as always for watching.